everyone, Chublu here, and Kirby, a game we love, and a game my friend loves so much that I keep getting requests to do something Kirby related, so here I am. Today I'll be taking Kirby and his iconic copy abilities, the various power-ups, if you will, that he gathers from consuming people whole. He has tons of different versions of copy abilities, different ways he goes about obtaining them. I'm not going to explain the whole thing, just know Kirby eats someone and gains power. What that power is depends on who he eats. It's a pretty simple concept overall. You can break it into a few categories if you look at it more as a whole. For one, you have the standard elemental-based abilities, stuff like fire, water, or plasma. These are more of just like nature, and the things we'd consider like the elements of the world. Kirby harnesses and uses their power. Then there's your animalistic ones, like animal, beetle, spider. They're just specific creatures. Then there's the weapon or concepts. I group these together because they tend to have similar like design philosophies and how they're executed within the game itself. Stuff like sword, ranger, or doctor. It's a very wide and covers a lot of stuff, and the reason I didn't group animal with it is because animal abilities tend to have movement options attached alongside their standard combat options. These focus more on combat. On the other side, we also have the fully, what I would consider the movement, more physical-based ones. These are abilities that Kirby still is Kirby, but you have an extra option attached, or one of your existing movement options is replaced with something else. This could be considered something like high jump, missile, or ball. Very simple abilities, but they add a lot to Kirby's general movement options. And lastly, there's your gimmick ones. These are specifically for certain circumstances, or whole game, if you will. Stuff like sleep, cook, or crash. All of these are just fun gimmicks for whatever purpose. And within those 5 categories, you can really group all of the different abilities Kirby's had over the years. He's obviously going to get more in due time. There's going to be more stuff added. So I thought, why not have some fun? And I'm going to make 5 new copy abilities. These are all just fun, random things I thought of, general concepts, abstract things, nothing really grounded in reality, because Kirby abilities, some of them come out of nowhere. So I just kind of had fun with it and did whatever I thought personally would make sense with Kirby, even if they are a little silly. If you want to see me cover more stuff like this, I do a ton of videos where I take old things, make them new, or just make new things to things that exist. So subscribe, you can see more of that. If you want to see a part 2, let me know in the comments, or even give me your own ideas of what copy abilities you can see Kirby getting in future entries. Anyway, I'm going to hop right into it. I'm going to start with a concept as an ability. Oddly enough, Kirby doesn't have any sports-related abilities, and I don't know if sports really exist in Kirby's universe. Well, some do, like baseball, and I think Kirby should get a baseball ability. He's been previously shown using a bat and with homages to baseball, so it makes sense. I specifically have in mind the idea of Kirby himself slightly looks like the ball. He has the little like line work. I don't know what's on that. It's the red part typically of the baseball. For if you know what that word what that is, let me know in the comments. That would cover his body. He'd have a standard cap, I think red and blue, because those are typically associated with baseball. And then it's, of course, a bat. Any bat will do. But my idea is more so, he'll have a standard moveset, of course. Very much, he'll bonk stuff with the bat. He won't use it necessarily properly. It will provide extra movement options like burning. Back in the day, burning was different from fire and was the dash attack that fire typically has. I'm thinking Kirby would basically be a ball and launch himself with speed and force like burning, but without the fire properties. So it would basically be an unelemental version of burning attached with some simple whack maneuvers with the bat. A fun, simple combat option with additional movement options to really spice up the gameplay. Also, him with a little cap, and while the artwork I used was from Yo-Yo, so it has the backwards cap, I do picture being front-facing, and he doesn't have any front-facing caps. They're all face to the side or backwards, so that would be a first, and kind of complete the whole hats in all directions. Now for a weapon-based one. This is one I'm surprised we don't have. If you look at, like, the weapon variety, it's a lot of melee, very standard, your weapon selection. If you see, like, any superhero show or something aimed at kids and they have weapons, these are typical weapons you'd find. He doesn't have access to a single shield. And I think that's so weird. Only because I think Kirby with a shield makes sense. The idea of Kirby, the cute little pink buff ball, being a protector with a shield, I think that works completely. Like, that works completely for Kirby's character. So I want to see Kirby with a shield. Shield Kirby. For this one, I took the artwork of the sword fighter from, like, Team Kirby Clash or whatever. That artwork is very nice. It has a fun helmet, so I took that, made it blue and silver, and I gave them just a Gerudo shield from Zelda. This is just to give you concept of what it would look like. And I picture it being a very, kind of like Stone, where it's kind of the one gimmick thing, but it has its uses. I picture Shield having a dash with it, so you could do some damage. But I picture it being more so for projectile-based enemies, especially bosses. It works as a reflector and a guard. It's a more defensive option from Kirby's typical offensive up-in-your-face. He can stay back and get damage in with a shield. It's more simple and not really the craziest ability, but the fact that it, you know, again, we have stuff like Sword and that exists, and again, it has its uses, but it's still simple in concept. This, I think, is a good kind of opposite to all those other abilities that have similar functions, but just use different weapons. Now, I got one more for, like, a concept. Okay, we'll hop to a different category. So, back from, like, Kirby's, 30th anniversary festival, depicting him in a little shirt. He had, like, I don't know what to call it, just like a towel around him, a little glow stick. I think it's adorable, and I love this artwork. So, using that as the basis, what if Kirby had a glow stick ability, right? Glow stick Kirby. And all of the combat moves were based off of dances people would perform in real life at various concerts. As in Japan, a lot of concerts, especially if you've seen anything related to Hatsune Miku and Vocaloid, they have glow sticks that match for the color of who they're listening to, and they have fun dances according to it. I think it'd be fun if Kirby had an entire moveset where all he did was dance. Is it silly? Yes. Would it be adorable? Yes. Do I think it'd be really funny if he had an outfit that was based off, like, your general Vocaloid fan? Also, yes. And going with that Hatsune Miku thing, I made all of it blue. Because I thought it'd be fun to reference Miku. Because, I mean, like, that's Japan's, just, like, number one is Miku. But in the Kirby world, I don't know if Miku exists. So, who else to idolize instead of the big King Dedede? If there's someone I'm idolizing from Kirby, it's King Dedede. Now, a lot of you probably found it weird earlier when I mentioned Animal, because I did list all the abilities that would really fit into that category, but I do think they're gonna do more of these. I think they're just trying to kind of ease into the more, like, broad animals. It's weird. It's a weird thing because a lot of other abilities have animal-related things, or a lot of them just come from animals themselves as the enemies you obtain them from. So it's a weird little, like, gray area of what's kind of like a general concept and what an animal specifically could do that's unique enough to warrant a copy ability. But there are still some animalistic creatures, fictional or not, that I think Kirby could use for ideas and abilities. Specifically a dragon. A lot of reptilian things have appeared in Kirby. A lot of dragons themselves, look at Landia. But Kirby's never really harnessed their power before. And then in Forgotten Land, he has Dragon Fire, an updated version of Fire, but it's still fire, you know, just because it has cool wings doesn't mean it's not fire. So using that as the premise, really, I want to make Dragon Kirby. Because a lot of other copy abilities reference other Nintendo characters, I figured I'd go with Ridley, because I feel like that's the most iconic dragon that's not from Pokemon. So using Ridley as my basis for a design, I have some nice purple wings, a little bit of spikes, and Ridley's tail, forming this dragon silhouette, but it's still Kirby. Like, not menacing in the slightest. It's just a silly little guy trying to be a dragon, and he's not. And I love that form. I do picture it being a combination of, like, fire and wing as a moveset, maybe a bit of, like, puncturing with the tail, I do find it being more kind of like how Hammer's moveset is different from something like Sword, and it has the additional properties of Stone, but it still plays a lot like Sword, you know? I picture Dragon fitting in a similar category to how Hammer is in the main series currently, where it's still different enough to warrant a separate ability, but not necessarily a completely new thing that you can't get elsewhere. It's rare, powerful, but more so a novelty. That's how I picture Dragon. And what if we added one more animal in, just for fun? One thing I'm surprised about is Kirby never had a cat ability. But Mario did. Mario! Super Mario. So many things you could take for abilities, and that's a whole other conversation. Cat Mario. Still blows my mind that that's just a real power-up. Why can't Kirby be a cat? I feel like that would be so much cuter if you gave him little cat ears. So I did it. I did what Nintendo don't, and I made a cat Kirby. I picture it just being glorified cat Mario. He can climb on walls now. So, like, it'd be useful in a 3D game like Forgotten Land. But it more so, like, I like to think they just get the voice actress back and they're like, hey, can you make cute Poyo plus, like, meowing sounds at the same time? Or something? And just, the idea of Kirby having a cat ability, and it works more like a debuff where he just gains cat traits and he gets, like, lazy or something. Like, I don't know. You can have fun with it. It'd be silly, and I like that. I like silly. And it's cute. Listen, you're telling me if they released a cat Kirby plushie, you wouldn't buy it? Because I know I would. Kirby's harnessed many elements, many things, very broadly. Kirby's never harnessed space itself. I want Kirby to have an ability that is truly, like, conceptually, like, people want to argue Kirby's so powerful. This ability, I want him to put, just shoot him up tier list, you know? Like, he is now fully unstoppable. A space-based Kirby ability. I call this cosmic. Outfit itself would just be Kirby taking a more purple, kind of like space feeling, but the main outfit itself would be rings floating around him, such as Saturn's rings. And the idea is he is now a planet. Whatever he just consumed, he is now a planet, and he has full spatial manipulation. I don't know if you want to go like the Mario Galaxy aesthetic, where he has like gravity attached to him, or if maybe you want him to have, like, shoot black holes or something. You could really do a lot with this. And that's kind of the point. I want Cosmic Kirby to be the end-all, be-all of abilities. Maybe it's not the most fun, usable, or accessible, but kind of like UFO, where it's a very strong ability and hard to find in a lot of games. I like to think Cosmic Kirby is one of those abilities as well. Very strong, very powerful, could use in any situation, really. And there's not any downsides to it, you know, it's just a good ability. Like a really good ability, that's the point. That being said, those are the 6 abilities I've created today. Honestly, kind of hit or miss. It's hard to say what they would do with the hats, you know, as an outsider. Because sometimes they take references from pop culture. Sometimes they take references from within themselves. Sometimes they just have fun with it, and sometimes they make a hat and then change it years later, or the next game. So it's really hard to say what they would do with the hats, and how they would implement it, of course. So I focus more broadly, in a sense, because we have no clue if the next Kirby game would be like Forgotten Land style, or, you know, Return to Dreamland style, or just a new style. So this is what I'm working with here. More general, broad ideas that I could see the team taking for whatever reason. If you want to see more again, please leave it in the comments, and maybe I'll take suggestions as well, so leave any of your ideas in the comments as well. That being said, I'm going to leave it there. Probably a shorter video today, but I've posted a lot of long ones recently, so I think a short one's nice for you guys. Check out more of my content, of course, and I wish you all a lovely day.